Hello everybody, my name is Griff, and today we're going to be going over, oh that's the wrong one, we're going to be going over all of the new news and updates that have come out in the past few days of Dragalia. I took the last weekend off, and now I'm finally back to making videos, finally back going over some of the things that I've had to over the past couple days, including the newest chapter and all the news updates we got today and yesterday as part of the new chapter coming out, as well as new events and stuff. So, to start, I think I should go all the way back here. I don't believe I ever did a video on this, which was the new version update that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So, actually, no, maybe not tomorrow. No, I don't know. It's coming. It says it's coming out here on the 25th at 11 o'clock, but I believe that's actually incorrect. I believe it's actually coming the next day on the 26th in the morning, but we'll have to see. Essentially, this update is just going to add more affinity bonuses to the worm prints. I do want to make a video, and I am going to make a video going over all of these prints individually once we know the exact afflictions they're going to be resisting, but all of these prints here are going to be gaining the affliction bonuses that are listed here. And essentially these are going to prevent poison, freeze, blindness, bog, and sleep, which is a huge deal because it means that some of these prints are going to be able to essentially negate more afflictions going forward, and you're going to be able to have characters that, especially in wind, because wind didn't have either freeze or bog resistance as part of the worm prints, now you'll be able to fully resist things in the wind element, so you can build healers or units that have resistances. These ones aren't super important. Some of them are very good, some of them are very niche and bad. But it's more important to think about the future of the 6-star worm prints going forward with things like skill damage and whatever else they throw in there, where you'll be able to have normal 5-star build prints along with affliction resistance, which is a huge deal. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of it. But other than that, they haven't shown too much. They show a couple here, but they haven't shown much more than these. I think these were some of the easier ones to understand. But yeah, that's basically the only real big part of this update. The other things that they flick some behaviors with bleeding, so that if you have 3 stacks of bleed, if you apply a new one, it simply just recycles the oldest one, so you'll never fall out of 3 stacks. Pretty decent change, but I don't think there's enough bleeding in the game for this to matter a lot, but if you are running a bleed comp, it does matter, so that's a good change. And they're also changing the facial expressions of some of the adventures during the victory screens. So pretty cool to see, pretty interesting to see what this is going to have implications meta-wise, and see how the next Sinister Dominion, which should be coming out probably in the next week or so, will look like. I don't believe we've seen the next Angel or Apostle. I believe we're currently waiting on that, so I think we need to see the next Angel and then we'll see the next Sinister Dominion, but I'm pretty sure that these will tie into that because the next 6-star prints would include prints with those affliction resistances. So that's a pretty big deal. I think the next biggest deal in terms of news was Time Attack, which just happened. I'll just go to that on my end here, right here. It's been going on this past week. I did everything. I don't really care about the timing for these because there's no like actual rewards other than like epithets that you can get. So I just do a clear, get my first clear, and I'm kind of done with it. Do the 12 stamina missions for the dailies to get honey and wings. But yeah, that is out. It is Jada Bayoth. If you're having trouble with it, I think the easiest thing to do is probably try and use units that can break easier, because what I would do was I would cycle through Overdrive a lot in that fight due to the Overdrive Punisher mechanic. That's really what I was trying to do. Then as we go forward, we have Astro Raids this week, which is a pretty big deal. We have Thanatos, which I don't remember when the last time Thanatos was run. It was a while ago, which is pretty cool. But the reason that that's a big deal is because we know that the next event coming forward is going to be the Knights of Alberia event. Now, they teased this event on the same day that the new chapter came out. It is going to start on the 27th, and it features a Leaf alt and a new adventurer who I don't remember what her name is. I believe she is in the in-game notification here, if I can find it. I think it's right here, yes. No, she's not. Okay, but she is in her art, she has a Manicaster, and in Leaf's art, he has a sword. So I'm suspecting them to be a sword and a Manicaster, but there's a reason why I don't think... We'll get into it more later as we go, but I think they're probably not going to be the same element. So, and I don't think Leaf is going to be Wind, because we'll go forward into that in a bit after we talk about the chapter, which is probably the next thing, but I'm going to spend the second half of this video talking about the chapter. Then, announced this morning, we have Trials of the Mighty. And the interesting part about this, which is going to start tomorrow, is that they are changing the weapons around. So now with Camus' Trial, you have swords, blades, and Manicasters and staffs, which were different than before. Now this is going to be running at the same time as Gala Alex's and Yukata Cassandra's, which is Mars Trials, Cronius' Trials, and Camus' Trials. So all those are going to be running from the 25th to the 1st. Then the week after that, you're going to have Nidhogg's Trial, who's going to have Yaten's Mana Sparrow. Pretty cool. The week after that, you're going to have Thor's Trial, which is for Gala Prince, and Grimir's Trial, which is for Akasha, running at the same time. I believe this is the first time, if you're not using double drops, that you can complete Gala Prince's Trial, which is what I'm going to be doing, and then I'll be putting the rest into Akasha. And then after that, we have a Jao de Bayoth Trial with Christie, and then the week after that is Lazari, and both of those are raids. So essentially, it's going to be Yaten, Lazari, and Christie all getting new Mana Sparrows. Pretty good adventure picks. I think Yaten's will probably be the most interesting to me because he's really heavily relies on the energy mechanic, and the energy mechanic kind of doesn't exist in something like a Trials of the Mighty. So I wonder if they're going to change that on him, or if they're going to give him some special type of energy that is impervious to Curse of Nihility or something like that. But that's really it for the news. Not too much in terms of details, but a lot in terms of new things coming up. Very exciting. We're reaching the point right before the anniversary. Next week, we'll be getting a This Month in Dragalia Lost, which will be for the anniversary month. And then at the end of September, we will be having our anniversary digest and information and all that good stuff, which I should be reacting to. So, very exciting there, as well as the second half of Chapter 21. So if you have not watched or seen Chapter 21, played it for yourself, you can click off now. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. But for those who have, let's go over Chapter 21, The Two Creators. So, this chapter only has 3 parts, like 3 areas, but I thought that it was pretty cool what they shown here and implied here, essentially. It basically just starts with the gang at the bottom of the tree, and they're going to, like, they're about to go fight Nedrick. Jin Lorda shows up. He basically gives a spiel about how you could never understand Nedrick's motivations. Then we have a little fight with him. This first part isn't that interesting. This second part, if I believe, yes. So, Rebellion of the Powerless. Jin Lorda introduces a new power called Apotheosis, I believe it's called. Where essentially he implies that fairies and dragons are very similar and siblings in the terms of their power and creation. And then he steals Mim's mana. Essentially, Apotheosis is you use the mana of another creature without having to form a pact. So he steals Mim's power and he turns into Hybernhilda, and you have a battle against Hybernhilda. Then you obviously beat him, and Nedrick is like, yo, you guys can just come to the peak, whatever, I don't care at this point. Eden tries to hear him out, the prince tries to hear him out. They go up. Essentially, Nedrick lays out the fact that the way that the world was created, there was a human and there was a dragon. In terms of fighting, the two of them were both ended up being sealed away, essentially. The first human, the Protogener, introduced black mana into the world, and Bahamut is stuck in the void, and Bahamut is the original dragon, the Protogen is the original human, and basically the power of black mana comes from the original human, and Bahamut is trying to break free. Then Elysium shows up, and he basically summons a bunch of dragons as Nedrick tries to steal the Pact Stone, and he's basically like, you guys cannot use any of this, forget you guys are all gonna die. So you fight him here, then he goes here, and he basically does the same thing again, where he's like, I am the ruler of this world, I am the creator, I am the custodian of the world. And this was really interesting to me because from a perspective, I thought that Elysium was going to end up being either the original human or the original dragon. My thought process was kind of Elysium was the original human. Bahamut gave him worm scale, which turned him into a dragon, and that was going to be Ferris's and Barris's play into the next chapters going forward. That's not the case. Elysium is kind of like outside of their reach. He's like a third entity. And actually, someone on the Reddit, I don't remember the exact post, basically did an entire breakdown of the chapter. And essentially, what you have is you have Baron and the original human, kind of both using black mana. You have Nedrick and Bahamut, who have a unfinished pact, and then you have Ilia and Elysium, who are kind of connected via their pact as like these three forces that are all facing off against each other, and Yun's in the middle. But right when they're about to fight him, this is actually straight up the raid battle from the most recent anniversary event. They're about to fight him, and Elysium like cancels out all their mana, and Yun sees this stream of mana through the air, and he's like, I wonder if I can use Apotheosis. He uses Apotheosis to turn into Volk. He turns into Wolf Volk and uses the Feral Shroud to negate Elysium's mana reach. And there's this great scene where you have Yuden as Volk, like, reaching out over all of them, and you have, like, Valix and Baron and Nedrick and I can't remember his name, the Gatov is his name, all going to strike Elysium down, and they actually kill Elysium, or it appears they strike him down. I doubt he's dead. They kind of did the same thing with Tartarus, where they kind of killed Tartarus last chapter, and then he was just back. But it is cool to see something like this in the story, where they're making big plays. So then Nedrick is about to take the Dawn Shard, about to satiate his, his Mana Scourge and form his pact with Bahamut, rewrite history, and then Zethia shows up and basically stops him, and it's left on a cliffhanger. So we'll have to see what comes next. We'll have to see what Zethia saw in the trailer for this chapter. It appears that Baron and actually, let's just skip this part. It appears that Baron and Ferris are going to show up and have an important role to play in the next chapter of the story, and it also appears that Ilia might show up. And part of the trailer for this chapter, before we even saw like what was actually in this chapter, was someone saying to Zethia, "Hey Zethia, it's been 100 years, hasn't it been?" So yeah, as you see here, as the party defeats Elysium, Zethia appears and vows to prevent Nedrick from forging a dragon pact with Bahamut. But just when the fight seems inevitable, the second and fifth scorn suddenly appear on the scene. What will become of the pact in the midst of all this chaos? So, if I had to guess, I would presume the anniversary gala will be Gala Ilia, but I also could see them going direction of Nedrick, because it appears that Nedrick is a sort of semi-ally at the moment. I don't know who the next enemy of the story would be if they became friends with Nedrick. I don't know what they're planning with that, but it will be interesting to see as it all comes ahead in the next chapter, and I'm super excited. I'm super duper excited that we're going to be getting Volk as a dragon, because I'm pretty sure the only other dragon that they didn't show any new dragons, so it's either literally like Bahamut, Elysium, or Volk as a dragon, and Volk seems most likely. And with this event going on now, they would likely be all on the same Gala banner. With Leaf being a sword, I think he might be a different element, but I think this Manicaster will be a wind Manicaster. Probably a long range based on the fact that she has this really long gun that has like a sniper on it. But it's super interesting to see where they're going with the story. I'm super excited. I'm super duper excited for playable Volk. That's probably the most exciting thing to me in terms of my own personal enjoyment. I am saving for anniversary, so I probably won't summon on this banner. I might just end up sparking on the anniversary banner, and hopefully if he's there, or hopefully, something happens where I can end up getting him. That's going to be it for me for today. I'm super excited for the game going forward. Make sure to like and subscribe. I will see you all next time.